My dear community, welcome to my channel. My name is Wei-Jen, and I help people to attract their desired lifestyle and love by expanding awareness, self-love, and energy vibration. Today, the subject that I want to talk about is that the crucial first three steps, how we can transform and even manage our negative emotion and energy to a higher positive, higher energy vibration, and even maintain that energy vibration. So as you can see that today, the setting is very different than usual because currently I am in my work trip, and still, I do have that desire that I want to share my experience with you guys. So that's why I'm here today. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into this subject. The first step that I usually would manage, the first step that I usually manage how I usually manage my negative emotion and energy is through awareness. And there are three exercises that I practice mindfulness. One is that if I have, plenty time and space for me to practice, to meditate, I would prefer to practice meditation to have a better awareness about my current state of being, because the purpose of the meditation is to know thyself in a deeper level. Sometimes I don't know why am I feeling this way, or sometimes I just feel something is not right or is not comfortable to me, but I don't know why. I don't know what exactly that is causing me feel troublesome or feel annoyed. And so through meditation, I get to dive deeper into my inner self and discover, sometimes the feeling that I don't feel right or I don't feel comfortable is because part of my childhood or adulthood trauma that I haven't got a chance to heal that, and now is knocking my door and is asking for my attention to heal and to face. So that is one way that I will practice mindfulness. Now the second exercise that I'll practice mindfulness is through journaling. We all have that monkey mind. Sometimes we create real and unreal circumstance in our head. And most of the time, the scenarios that we create with our monkey mind, 95% they are not true. But the interesting thing is that our subconsciousness, our body, a lot of time cannot really identify what is real, what is unreal. So in order to identify and to spot what is our current state of being and our emotions, the other great way to find that out is through journaling. Because when you're really physically writing things down without thinking too much, and keep in mind, it is also a safe platform to give us freedom to write, whatever we want to write, right? After, we finish writing, we get to see and understand, oh, this is how my monkey mind is thinking, oh, this is, how my body feels about this particular incident, place, or person, right? I get to see those words in front of me. That way, I get a better understand my current state of being. And especially if it's negative and I don't know, I cannot name exactly that negative energy or emotion. So through journaling, this will help me a lot. Now, if you don't have those kind of space and time to do either meditation or journaling, let's say, I only have like 1 minute because I'm outside, I'm interacting with people, or I'm in a place where it's very noisy, right? The third exercise that I would practice awareness is through verbally asking myself, How am I feeling? How am I doing, Wei-Jen? How am I feeling, Wei-Jen? And sometimes I may not have, a concrete, exact answer, but my body usually will give me some sign, some signal. My intellect, my emotional self will give me some signal, or literally just a word or two words that can be considered as answer as well. Because you have to know, our body is our instrument. It's very intuitive. And we were designed, when we were born to be intuitive. And so when our body tells us, most of the time, I know when I was younger, I tend to ignore my intuition. When my intuition tells me, no, don't go out on a date with this person, right? Or don't do this or don't do that, I used to ignore those signals because for some reason I was so scared that, if I don't do it, if I say no, that person is going to run away, or, I may lose this chance or opportunity or this job. But, most of the time our intuition, there is a reason, there is a message why our intuition is telling what they're telling us, but we tend to ignore them. So I learned in a hard way many times in the past. But today, through these simple questions, I get to ask myself, I get a better understanding, okay, this is how am I feeling? And it's a way to practice awareness. It's a way to practice mindfulness. It is even a way to practice naming those feelings. Like for some of you, if you grew up in a very dysfunctional or in an environment where your family, your parents don't allow you to express your feelings, you might, have a very weak ability to name each feelings. And so asking yourself, how are you feeling? How am I doing? Is an opportunity to exercise naming those feelings. And then the more you practice this, the better you become good at spotting, those feelings and even name those feelings. So that way you have the ability to express and share your feelings with another person. And then that's also going to increase your communication skill as well, because you have that language to describe, to express those invisible feelings. You see what I'm saying? So that is step one. Now, when you have a clear, message and knowing this is how you're feeling, you get to set up a boundary with yourself. And that is also a wonderful opportunity to practice setting boundary with ourselves and with another human being. So I will set up a boundary, a time frame with myself to allow myself to sit with these negative feelings by being sloppy, by doing nothing, by being messy, not making my bed, for a day or a couple hours or even a night, right? So that way I get to manage my negative emotions instead of let those negative emotions to manage my life, to manage my emotion, and be slave of those negative emotions and feelings. So those are this is the biggest difference between you're either a master or your emotions are the master. So that is something that I learned, since I started my spiritual awakening journey and the personal transformation journey. I learned how to control myself and how to manage my negative emotions and energy. And keep in mind that, those negative energy and emotions, they don't necessarily mean, harm or, bad things to us. A lot of time instead, they come to us to get our attention because they want to protect us. So if you think another way, they come trying to be protective of us, trying to give us a warning, don't do this, or don't trust this person too much, or this might be too hard, too challenge, to me to do. Usually I will acknowledge them, and then I will thank them for being protective of me. So that's how I would view those negative emotions and energy, instead of trying to repress them or ignore them and tell them that shut up, you are being not supportive, XYZ. So that's how I would view my negative emotions and energy. Now, if you heard I have a background noise, that's because I'm in a hotel and there's just so much that I cannot control. So please bear with me. Now, the next step that after I be able to identify my current state of being and be able to name my emotions, right? The next step that I would do is to express my negative emotions. I think this is very important because our body has a certain capacity to tolerate positive and especially negative emotions. And when our body, our container, is out of the reach to contain our emotion, our negative emotions, sooner or later it's going to exposed. So I think that's very understanding right now, thinking back when I used to carry so much resentment and anger and then not be able to share or express to anybody. I understand today why I used to act it out, because I didn't have a proper way to express those negative energies. So today, the way that I would express my negative emotions in a very healthy and a safe way is either I go boxing, I do quite a lot of boxing today, or I would bash a pillow. I have this plastic baseball bat that I will bash the pillow if something really upsets me or something that makes me feel resentful or angry. I would set my intention, tell my body, my intellect, and my emotional self that I'm about to bash out this, negative energy. That could be anger, that could be injustice, that could be exhaustion, that could be burnout. I would set my intention that, okay, this is what I'm about to punch the boxing bag, or this is what I'm about to bash the pillow. Because when I tell my mind, my body, and my intellect that, okay, this is what we're going to do, then it comes to a clear communication that my body and my mind, my emotion, they all know, okay, what they're doing, what they are going to do, and why they are going to do this. So it doesn't create any confusion or chaotic internally. And then also keep in mind that when we express those negative energy, right, we also, clean up some more room to create and generate positive feelings and experience for the future, for the next moment, for the next day, right? So having that enough space, right, and to clean up those space is very crucial. And then keep in mind that it's also very important to find a safe and healthy way to do that. I am not an advocate that you go out and then doing drugs or hurting other people, to express your negative emotions. That's not wise and that is not smart. And I'm not a subscriber of anything like that. So find a proper, safe, and healthy way to do it, and that you have a full control. I also heard some people, they said that in some places they provide a service where you go to the store and then they will put you in a room, they will give you a goggle and the gloves and also the baseball bat, and then they will prepare lots of plates, bowls, cups, and furniture. and then just put it into a room and then have you in a room and just to bash and break everything in the room. So there is a service. All you need to do is just to Google it and then find it out. I don't think it's not that hard to find out and find out that, you know, there is a service exists. So expressing is very important, and that is step 2. Now the next step 3, once you express those negative energy, right? Step 3 is to find a way, and again, safe and healthy activities that will bring you more happiness, will make you feel good about yourself, right? Truly feel good about yourself, right? Will generate more dopamine, more what is that called? More dopamine and more, I'm sure there's, okay, more dopamine, or there's also another chemistry, I forgot what is that called. But actually, you know, overall, they just make you feel good in a very natural and healthy way. I don't mean, you know, take any drugs that makes you feel good. No. So those exercises can seem very ordinary, can be very small. To me, after I express those negative energy, what I usually would do is, you know, I would take a walk. I will stay under the sun for about 15 minutes, just to soak those natural lights. And, you know, those being around nature also gives me dopamine and endorphin. That is the word that I was trying to say. Endorphin. Yeah. Or I will get myself a coffee or a tea, or I will play piano, or I will do some more like creative work, or read a book. You know, those things that makes me feel peace, relax, and, you know, I have my serenity. So those are the exercises that I invite you to, you know, find out what works for you and what brings you happiness and serenity and peace. So those are the 3 crucial steps that I want to share with you. And if you find this, you know, these tips and this video brings you value, please feel free to like my video and then also leave the comment. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you want, you know, you can also subscribe my channel and even book a free 30 minutes discovery call with me to find out whether or not working with me is a right fit for you if you want to dive deeper into personal transformation. But until then, I will see you in our next video, and I wish you have a fabulous day. Namaste.